Thank you, Ian. Um, it's good to be here. Good to see a lot of my friends. Good to see Harry, my friends at DX5. When you're asked to be the keynote speaker, and you've literally been in the trenches and literally been the geek in the basement. It's like getting a fish out of water, but we'll do this. So today I'm unleashing the the power of the cloud. I mean, it comes at a very interesting time. It's coming up. Yeah, so maybe I don't need to introduce myself again, but I would say my name is Charles Washika. I'm the Director ICT and Innovation at Cooperative Bank. Where I've been for the last 9 years. I didn't know it's been 9. I thought it's been like 4 years. All of you who work in this industry understand the way years go very, very fast. So what are we here to discuss today? Unleashing the power of the cloud. It comes at a very interesting time. I think in the last 3 weeks, or let me say 1 month, you've seen the power of the cloud. By a show of hands, who has seen the power of the cloud? What have you seen? Yes.
We decided that when we were building our platform, we'll just go to public cloud.
Yeah.
Save this amount of money from the platform and we just went live local.
Went live. Okay, so what are we here to discuss today? I don't know if you can see the screen from where you are. Okay? This is what you're going to discuss today. When people talk about the cloud, and we don't assume. When I talk to my cooperators where I work, and I tell them I'm moving to the cloud, probably this is what they think, right? Is this what they think? Is this what we are thinking today? This is the power of the cloud. So when I said unleashing the power of the cloud, the people in Athi River might know what I'm talking about, what happened to them. The people in Masai Mara might know what I'm talking about. That the cloud, to many people, is what we see out there. Okay? But let me try and bring it home. And I know I'm in a room full of techies and a room full of bankers, so I will not take you through defining what a cloud is and what's its potential for us. So what is the state of banking infrastructure in Africa, and how can we use the cloud to transform what we do and what we do for our customers? So the banking infrastructure in Africa, and we all know this, it's significantly impacted, right? There's a lot of change that is happening. There's a lot of improvements that are happening on it. But most of us are still operating in very legacy systems. There's a lot of inefficiencies. I know that's why we talk about changing your core banking systems, changing your networking systems, changing your customer-facing systems, but a lot of improvements are happening. So I'll again just quickly go through some of the things that are there. So in terms of scalability, the existing systems that are there at the moment, it's very difficult to scale. And most of us know this, especially for those who work in banks, and I've seen you here, or financial institutions, or banking. Somebody said banks and banking is pretty different, and I mean, it's so true in Kenya. At the end of the month, you know what happens. Okay, you've just been okay, the systems have been fine, but then at the end of the month, salaries are coming in from the government, and the systems are unable to scale. So scalability is a big problem, as it were. Security, Harry spoke about security. These are the things that keep us awake. If I was in a conference for CISOs, most likely they'll be on their phones, or even CIOs in the room. You're on your phones trying to just imagine and understand what is really happening back at your financial institutions. So vulnerabilities in our existing infrastructure is a big problem in as far as the current infrastructure is concerned. The cost of maintaining these systems as they grow older, maintaining and upgrading all systems. I just went through a big transformation for the last 5 years. The cost that was involved to transform that infrastructure, that whole landscape, because of our legacy systems, is quite immense and very resource intensive. In accessibility, I know in Kenya we say, I'll talk about Kenya, then I'll talk about Africa. We say there is quite a bit of access in as far as financial services is concerned. And there's a lot of inclusivity that is coming in, especially with the proliferation of the mobile devices, M-Pesa, etc. But if you look across Africa, there's still a very big problem. We still have to walk into brick and mortar because of the kind of infrastructure we have. Yes, we're having to lay fiber cables, etc., so that we have that access. But still, accessibility is still a big thing. Then there's a new word that I came across, which is X-novation. Who has an idea of what X-novation is? I used to be a teacher, so I'll try and engage all of you guys. And maybe there should have been a microphone going around. Any idea? But it's all there. That's the opposite of innovation. So outdated technology hinders the introduction of innovative products. Okay. Despite all this, banks and organizations in Africa are rapidly adopting new technologies. And these are some of the things that we shall be discussing today and also in the rest of the week. So how does this rapid adoption of cloud look like? And maybe we'll just look at other industries before we come to banking. So for example, in healthcare, improving patient access to healthcare, data management through cloud-based health records and telemedicine. If you look at the education sector, during the COVID-19 period, most of the schools went online and most organizations went online. I have 3 daughters, and it was very difficult to convince them to go back to school when COVID was out, because they had gotten used to learning online. And this was, again, supported or enabled by the use of cloud technologies. Retail, a lot of cloud-based point of service solutions out there. In agriculture, cloud data for precision farming and supply chain management. If you look at government, and I know Harry spoke about, there'll be an e-government summit here. There's a lot of efficiency. I mean, you'll be surprised that a lot of governments are now moving into cloud. And all these indications hint at a very impressive surge into the cloud by organizations in Africa. And let me just put a bit of numbers into this. This was a survey that was done in 2022, 2023 on tech executives on adoption of cloud. And maybe I'll try and do by a show of hands here. So they said, out of those ones who were surveyed, 2% were not on cloud. Okay? About 26% were experimenting. About 55% were majorly on cloud. And then 17% were fully, all their operations, all their workloads, they're on cloud. Maybe by show of hands, I could say, who thinks they are who knows they are fully on cloud? All their operations. Fully on cloud. Awesome. Majority of your workloads, majority of your operations on cloud? Majority means above 55%. Let me put a number there. Above 55%. No, you can raise your hand. It's okay. Okay. Who are experimenting? Oh, there's a hand. Okay. You wanted to say something? Experimenting? Okay. And then not on cloud. No problem. Who is not on cloud? If you're using Office 365, are you on cloud? Yeah? I think majority of those guys who are experimental. Yeah. And more so, I think our industry is a bit averse on this. So these are some of the numbers that we see. So let's get into banking. And we see a lot of banks in Africa and more so in Kenya embracing cloud technologies to improve how they interact with their customers, how they interact internally in terms of efficiencies, and more so generally the services that they offer. And there are push factors towards this. So first of all is customer expectation, and I'll be preaching to the converted if I told you, what customer expectations are. So your customers are now demanding, or our customers are demanding faster, more reliable and personalized banking services, and we shall see some of those things, and how you ensure, and we shall see later, that you're able to meet this need is by adopting some cloud technologies or some of the cloud concepts. There's regulatory support, believe me or not. Our own regulator, if I talk about Kenya, the Central Bank of Kenya is very, very active in ensuring that we're able to move to the cloud. They are also themselves pushing some of their workloads on the cloud and making sure that they put the policies and regulatory frameworks that enable us to move some of our workloads, or at some point, all of our workloads onto the cloud. And then innovation. I think there's lots of innovation that has happened in the cloud space. I know when I was given this opportunity to come and speak about the cloud, the urge was for me to come and talk to you about infrastructure as a service, talk to you about platform as a service, talk to you about SaaS. And I think maybe some of you might have been thinking I'll come and talk to you about those things and tell you infrastructure as a service is this, and this is how it's going to revolutionize banking. Let me give you a story. Last week, I don't know if some of you are you on, there's a group in Kenya, sorry, Harry, let me talk about Kenya for now. There's a group in Kenya, it's called Digital Disruption Caucus. By show of hands, who's on that group? Please raise your hand. Raise your hand. So, incidentally, last week my organization was, we're having our annual general meeting online, thanks to the cloud. And there was a discussion that was going on there on the platform about what makes for a good core banking system. And what I'm going to discuss with you is going to help each and every one of us understand that we don't do technology for technology's sake. And I know you guys know that. So the discussion was there and everybody talking about core banking, and this is the best core banking, this is the best partner, you must do this. These guys have not done the right thing, these ones have done the right thing, etc. And I'm right there in the boardroom. So AGMs right now, again, thanks to cloud, they are held virtually. And I'm right there in the boardroom. In the past, in my bank at least, when there was an AGM, we used to go to, I think it was Bomas, and all these people will come, and the people from IT, it doesn't matter. IT is just there. The people who are really in the room, or the CEO, the chairman, the company secretary, CFO, those are the people who are really on their feet in as far as an AGM is concerned. But now, because it's virtual, the geek is now in the room because everything is virtual. It must work. So I'm in the room, there's this discussion going on, and there's also the AGM going on. I'm really itching to comment. But I reached a point I said, okay, let me comment. So they bought 5 things. And please, guys, you can write this down if you are not in that room. And this is going to help you. Number 1, you must know your customer. What is right there? You must understand your customer and what you're doing for your customer. So even if you're implementing a cloud technology, you're doing it for your customer. You're not doing it for yourself. Number 2, understand your stakeholders. As a CIO, as a CFO, whatever, you must understand your stakeholders. Number 3, anybody having an idea what number 3 is? Your shareholder. Understand your shareholder. Everything that we do, yes, we do it for our customers, but we also do it for the bottom line. We're doing this to create value for our shareholders. Number 4, and very important, part of number 2, understand that you've got executive support. Otherwise, don't move in anything you're doing. Number 5, and the most important for yourself, think of where you'll be after whatever you're doing, after implementing the cloud technologies, after you're going to implement the new core banking system, as a CIO, as a CTO, as a CFO, whatever you are, think of where you'll be after the implementation. Think of where you'll end up. People usually say these big transformations can either take you up or down, or that's number 5. Number 6 and 7, just get on with it. Once you've understood all those things, just get on with it. Okay, so let me go back to my day-to-day. Despite all this, I think there still exist very significant challenges for this adoption. Cost is still a big issue in Africa for most banks, in Kenya, and the inability for IT to justify. Number 3 is regulation, and then talent, getting the right talent to move onto the cloud. So what's the imperative for banking? Again, if you notice, I kind of picked the same things. Number 1, again, preaching to the converted. Scalability, cloud gives you the opportunity to scale. You're using somebody else's computer, using somebody else's infrastructure, and you're paying for it. But it enables you to scale as your operations grow at whatever time. Cybersecurity, you're utilizing very advanced tools because most of the hyperscalers will have very advanced tools in as far as cybersecurity is concerned. Cost efficiency, depending on how you architect your cloud journey, you end up reducing capital spend. You move it into operating spend, but there could be some, and there always are efficiencies. And then accessibility. Cloud gives us the opportunity for accessing banking services, and also in as far as acceleration of innovation is concerned. So, I mean, the cloud, if you look at your own, let's say your own core banking system or your own customer engagement systems, for you, for example, to start using microservices, or for you to start using generative AI, do you build it internally, or do you go to a cloud provider, hyperscaler, who already has those components, and it enables you to build them into your offering? An account opening process, for example, where you need to do liveness check. Do you internally build? Do you go and buy an off-the-shelf solution, or do you use the cloud to scale that up? So it gives us an opportunity to innovate faster. Let me go into some of the use cases, and I'll pick maybe 6 or so. Um, Let me call them concepts or innovations around the cloud. Remember, I said I'm not going to talk about PaaS, SaaS, IaaS, and all those things. So, in terms of microservices, some of these cloud services, some of the hyperscalers, they give us the opportunity to use microservices which are already built. So you have a microservice, let's say for payments. You have a microservice for account opening. You have a microservice for let's say treasury, trade finance, etc. So you don't need to buy an off-the-shelf offering. You don't need to build it in your mobile application, for example, your internet banking application. You could cherry pick some of these services from the cloud. But AI and machine learning, the discussion that is there, and we can have 3 or 4 days discussion on AI. It enables you to build applications or to have personalized services on your offering to your customers. So you don't need to build them internally. A lot of these cloud-based services already have this, so all you need to do is cherry pick and pay for what you need. So it gives you that opportunity. In terms of edge computing, fraud detection close to your service offering, big data and analytics. You don't need to spend millions of shillings, hundreds of millions of shillings to go into big data and analytics, blockchain, and then hybrid and multi-cloud. You can use that for disaster recovery. Some of us right now are thinking of building the 4th or the 5th disaster recovery site. Do we need to build it, or can we leverage on the cloud? Some of the strategies, again, maybe just to, as I start wrapping up, some of the strategies, first of all, you need to assess readiness of your IT. Number 2, develop a very comprehensive cloud strategy. I'm sure most of you do have. Choose the right partner. Remember my 7 or so things. I didn't talk about the partner, but you need to choose the right partner. Leverage on cloud native services. Utilize automation, artificial intelligence, machine learning as you build your offering. And please remember, all these things you're doing is for your shareholder, is for your customer, is for your stakeholders, yourself, etc. Ensure regulatory compliance, focus on risk and security, very important, invest in skills, and then foster a culture of innovation. Borrowed this from somewhere, not say where. Key actions to achieve full value of the cloud. Number 1, there must be very strong alliances at the C-suite. It's not just technology, bringing technology and business and finance, risk, security onto one page, and then build your cloud strategy. Most cloud-powered companies do demonstrate this distinct advantage by bringing all these people together. Have a multi-approach. So you think about transforming your infrastructure, you're also modernizing some of your legacy infrastructure and building cloud-native applications. So it's not just one approach. You're doing, I'm modernizing, or I'm transforming my entire infrastructure. So it must be multi. Have a very an enterprise data-wide strategy. Number 5, heavy emphasis on cloud controls and governance, and then building your cybersecurity skills. Key takeaways for me: what is the transformative power of cloud technologies? What are the key benefits for banking? And then you must have very successful adoption strategies. Asante sana. Thank you for listening to me.